Hello, and welcome back to this week's video, this week's podcast. And I know I actually am starting to produce more videos, more podcasts in a single week. So who knows in exactly what week this is actually going to come out. I'm going to schedule it all and get you as much content, as much information as I possibly can. But this week is a great topic, a topic that I talk about all the time because feds worry about this all the time. And the answer is, I don't want to say vague. I don't think that's a good word for it, but it is so, I guess, changeable depending on what external things come up in life, that it is a great topic to discuss, to give you a framework of how to approach your retirement and to get the most out of life, right? So the topic that I want to talk about today is, are you contributing enough to your TSP? Are you doing enough to have the retirement that you want? And this can also be asked in a different way. Maybe you're close to retirement, and the question might be, do you have enough in your TSP right now to have the retirement that you want? How much money, basically the question is, how much money do you need at retirement to live the life that you want? And now I hound on money, I hound on the TSP, I hound on your benefits all the time. But I hope you don't think that means that the only thing I care about is your TSP. Not at all. Money is an amplifier of what you are and what you enjoy in your life. And if you are prepared, you can enjoy your life to the fullest, not because money makes you happy, but because it enables you to do things that you want to do, to live the life that you want. And that's what I love to do with clients, is to help them make that connection, to say, hey, we're doing all these great strategies with your investments and your taxes and your benefits to give you some great results, but not for the results themselves, for what the money does for you, your life, your family, what opportunities it gives you. That's why we do it, and that's why it makes a huge impact on your life. So thank you for being here and watching this. And let's get into the topic. I got on a little side road there, but now we're back. How much do you need in your TSP to retire the way you want? And now, the reason this becomes such an interesting topic is because it depends on so many things. Where I've worked with some federal employees where $100,000 in their TSP is plenty to get them through retirement. I've also worked with some with very high TSP balances, millions. And they, because of their goals, because of the things that they want to do, because of their other things going on in their life, it might not be enough, right? It might not be enough to give them the life that they want. Everyone has different desires, different lives that they want. And you want to make sure that you are on track for yours, not for your neighbors, not for your coworkers, but for your goals, whatever they are. Okay, that's why it is so difficult to know what you might need, because there's so many different things. For example, if you asked me, I'm not a personal trainer, but let's say I'm your personal trainer, and you asked me, how much should I work out, right? How many minutes a day should I work out? My answer, if I was a good personal trainer, is it depends. What are your goals? Is your goal to look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Do you want to be ripped? Do you want to have a six-pack? What are your goals? Or is it just say, hey, I want to be able to go on hikes more with my kids? Or what's the goal, right? What's your fitness goal? Let's get away from money. Let's get away from your benefits for just a second. What are your goals? And once you have an idea of what you want that to look like, then the trainer could say, okay, if that's what you're trying to do, then let's do this. Let's work out this many minutes a day, this many times a week, and let's make your diet plan look like this. It's going to take more work if you want more results, but it will be worth it if that's what you really want, right? So back to your benefits. Well, you have to know what you want. And regardless of where you are in your career, even if you're just starting, or maybe you're retiring, think about it. I'm young, I still have a while to retirement. And I don't know exactly what that is going to look like, but I'm starting to plan. I'm starting to say, hey, this is the sort of life that I want. I don't know all the details yet, but this is kind of what I want. And it slowly gives me an idea of what resources, what things, how much money it might take to get there. So once you have an idea of how much money, let's say a month, let's say in retirement for you, how much money a month do you want to use, to live on, to have the life that you want? How much money would it take a month, right? Look at your budget now. Is it much different? Do you want the same amount? Do you want more? Do you want less? What do you want in retirement? And then work those numbers back. Like, okay, if I need, let's say, $6,000 a month to live the life that I want in retirement, how much of that is going to come from my pension, from my Social Security? Where's that money going to come from? And if it's not going to be covered completely by my fixed income, how much TSP money do I need every month, every year to make that happen, right? And how long do I want to be retired for? When do I want to retire? Do I want to retire at 50 or 70? I mean, there's a huge range nowadays where people are retiring early, they're retiring late. How long of a retirement do you want? And people are living longer too, right? It is not uncommon for people to live 80s, 90s, even 100s. It happens all the time. So you have to be prepared accordingly. So now that you know how much money do you want a month to live the life that you want, and how long of a retirement do you expect? If you retire at 70, how many years do you expect to live, right? And you want to put more on there than maybe the average. You want to plan for as long of a life as you possibly can so you will be prepared. And you work all that back to say, okay, if I need this much a month, then I need this much at retirement to provide that through your career. And if you're not a numbers person, find someone that maybe can work those numbers for you and look at investment returns and inflation and all that good stuff, right? To kind of walk you through those numbers to see, okay, how much do I need or want for retirement, and to have them help you walk through that. So once you know the number that you need at retirement, then you start looking back now, like, okay, I'm 10 years out. I have this much in my TSP right now. How much every pay period, how much every year do I need to contribute to get that number, right? How much do I need to do, right? And that gives you a great starting point. But let me tell you a few things that make this even a little more complicated, I guess, right? And that is, we have no clue what inflation, tax rates, Social Security, we don't know a lot of these things change over time. And so it's very difficult to know exactly how much you need, right? For example, let's say right now you're in the 20% tax bracket, right? But let's say in 20 years when you retire, tax rates are higher. Maybe you're going to be in the 30% tax bracket. So every dollar that you take out of the TSP, you're going to have to pay more in taxes. So that changes the numbers, right? And those are unknowns. We don't know what tax rates are going to be in 20 years. We don't know what inflation is going to be in 20 years. We don't know what food's going to cost in 20 years. We don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. So that is why it is essential to have margin of error, meaning you have more than enough, more than you think you'll need, more because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen, let's say, to you, your health, your family. You don't know. There's so many unknowns. For example, Social Security. It is a fact, you could read on the Social Security website, that Social Security is running out of money, right? Where I think the number is 2035. I'll have to look. It's been a while since I've looked. That they're projected to run out of money and not be able to meet the demands that are going to be there at that time. And so they're going to either have to take it from somewhere, whether that's more taxes, something, and they may recover. Something might happen. They may be good to go. But that money is going to come from somewhere. So you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for small changes along the way, even big changes. That is why when people ask me, how much should I be contributing to the TSP? It is such a hard question to answer. So that's why I never give a straight answer. I don't say, oh, you need $1 million. Oh, you need 200,000. Oh, you need 2 million. Like, there's no answer that makes sense because there's so many factors in your personal life, but also in the external world. So my go-to answer, if people want a straight answer, is as much as you possibly can. Be prepared as much as you possibly can. Do the most that you can do, right? Often I had a conversation with my wife where she was trying to decide how much to work. She was in school back when we had this conversation, and she had a summer break. She's in nursing school, and she had some time in the summer, and she was trying to decide how much she wanted to work, right? She had some summer classes. She had to decide, how much do I want to work during the summer vacation? And she asked me, it's like, how much should I work, right? And the question for me is like, okay, well, of course you want your life to be balanced. You don't want to work 80 hours a week and have 5 classes. You don't want to do that, right? So there's balance there. But within your goals, within how you want to live a life, you probably want to make as much as you can, right? That's how I look at my job. It's like, okay, I want a life. I want to spend time with my family. I want to play sports. I want to do the things that I love. But at the same time, in my business as a financial planner, I want to make as much as I can, as much as I possibly can, because extra resources breed opportunities, right? And so I never encourage people to sacrifice life in general now for retirement down the road, because life now is important too. You have to find a good balance between living the life that you want now, but also doing everything that you can to be prepared for down the road. And so I wish I had an exact answer for you. Of, okay, at age 30, you need to have this much in your TSP. At age 50, you need to have this much. But it doesn't exist. You could look at averages. You could say, okay, the average 50-year-old in the TSP has this amount. But honestly, that doesn't tell you very much, because the average federal employee may only want an average retirement. What if you want an above average retirement with above average things and above average trips? It depends on what you want. Maybe you just want to read in retirement. Maybe you just want to relax. Maybe you just want to spend time with family. That's okay. You have to be okay with what you want in life and then go after it. Whatever it is, go after it and be confident that you're doing everything that you can. Okay, I hope this is helpful. This is how, at least I think, everyone takes a different approach to life, to retirement planning, all these things. This is how I approach it. Be as prepared as you possibly can. And of course, you could run the numbers to get a rough idea of where you're at, but when it comes down to it, it depends on what you want, it depends on all these things, and that's those things you have to decide. Even as a financial planner, I can't tell you what kind of life that you should live. I could tell you, hey, you have this much in savings, this is probably what it's gonna look like, but is that something you want? And do we have to make changes so that we can get you to the life that you want? That's the sort of questions that you should be asking yourself, especially as you approach retirement, especially as you come close to these big decisions that change your life forever. These small decisions make a huge impact along the way. All right, I'm done ranting. I hope you guys have a great week. It's always great to talk to you. And please, 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 when you listen to this podcast, when you watch these videos, I hope it helps you take action. Because regardless of what's in your head, regardless of what we know, regardless of how smart we are, nothing happens until we take action, until we make changes in our life that makes the difference over time. Okay, now I'm really done. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. And again, thank you for making it to the end of my video, the end of my podcast. I hope this brought value to you and your life. My goal with this content is to bring as much value to as many people as I possibly can. So please, if you can, if this brought value to you, please show your support, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, comment, give me feedback about what you want to hear about, what you want to learn about, and how you can get more value out of this, and so that I could do the very best I can to make this the best channel for my viewers, for my listeners, the very best I can. So again, thank you for being here and investing in yourself and in your future. And I will see you next week.